Kareem Palmer commits to the Auburn Tigers.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes. Welcome on into Locked On Auburn, quick bonus edition of the show. I'm Zac Blackerby, and some breaking news. Kareem Palmer, the linebacker from Toombs County in Lyons, Georgia, has committed to the Auburn Tigers. A lot of discussion picked up yesterday when he arrived, and the visit went well during Big Cat weekend, and he decided to make his commitment official to the Auburn Tigers. 6'2", 215-pound linebacker, and looking at what he's done with his high school tape is, the biggest positive trait to me that stood out about Kareem Palmer was that he's able to work through traffic extremely well. There's a lot of traffic and a lot of bodies. He has kind of a knack of navigating where he's not picked up by blockers trying to get to the next level. Decent first step, seems to like contact, has a natural feel for where the ball carrier is going to be in the running game. There's not a whole lot of his stuff in pass protection out there, but look, the bottom line here is if DJ Durkin wants you to play linebacker at Auburn, yeah, that's good enough for me. Kareem Palmer picked Auburn over Mississippi State and Ole Miss. According to his 247 page, we'll see, what the news is as far as if he chooses to continue to take visits. But his official visits lined up were Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Ole Miss on June 5th, Mississippi State on June 12th, and then was going to return. We assume that he still will return to Auburn for an official visit on June 19th. So still a player that, even though he's a 3-star across the board, was garnering some SEC attention. Doesn't seem to have elite speed. He is long. He does have length, and I do think he has some traits that translates to the next level. But all in all, once again, my key thing in all of this is if DJ Durkin wants you to play linebacker at Auburn, that's good enough for me. We talked about this on Friday's afternoon show where we were talking about this with Jeremiah Culpepper, and we'll talk about how all of that comes together in a second. But we've seen guys be really solid thumpers and really solid guys who are impacting the running game at the high school level. And we've seen DJ Durkin get his hands on him and work him into literally one of the best linebacker rooms in college football. Elijah Melendez, though he had incredible traits and it was impossible not to just get excited while watching his highlight tape, he's become so much more of a versatile linebacker under the leadership of DJ Durkin. Let's even think about some guys who maybe weren't quite at that level, but were around for a while. Think about a guy like Robert Woodyard, who I believe is at Missouri now. But still, at his time under Durkin is when he really exceeded and developed as a player. But, he felt Elijah Melendez coming down his neck. And so he's like, all right, yeah, I need to leave. I'm going to lose playing time here. And then obviously the best example is Xavier Atkins. A guy who couldn't see the field at LSU for various reasons. LSU had some talent, don't get me wrong. And then last year we're talking about all right, well, if he puts it together, and boy, did he put it together, became an All-American. So once again, Kareem Palmer, if DJ Durkin wants you here, you are good enough to play in this league because he sees something. Now, as far as the recruiting goes, when you look at the linebacker situation, I do think that's a fun conversation because it involves depth and a lot of potential and upside and excitement and really just a solid, incredible future for the Auburn linebacker room. Let's take a stab at that in just a moment right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. The NBA playoffs are here, and every possession matters. If you're looking to get even closer to the action, FanDuel has a great offer to get you started. New customers on FanDuel can bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. Turn just $5 into $150 in bonus bets just for getting started. Auburn baseball, you can bet on them to win the College World Series. That line was plus 1,600 last I checked, tied for the 7th best odds in the country. And also, I posted a graphic over the weekend, Auburn's win total at 6.5. A lot of people saying, I'm pounding the over. You can do all that at FanDuel. Head to FanDuel to get started. FanDuel, play your game. Kareem Palmer is a member of Auburn's 2027 class, which is incredibly exciting. He joins 6 others. So he's the 7th member of this class. And your defensive guys that you're looking at now with Donovan Moore on the defensive line and him, Kareem Palmer. So we'll see if that defensive class continues to grow. Seen multiple people say this, and it's also just kind of common sense. But the big question is, all right, well, the linebackers higher up on Auburn's board, we all assumed, I guess it was somewhat reported, Jeremiah Culpepper of Troup County, which is the guy that I talked about on Friday afternoon's podcast, and then Isaac McNeil from Mobile goes to Viger. It does seem like they're still pursuing both of those players. And so this is probably going to be a class where you have multiple linebackers in it, which I have no issue with at all. When you look at some of the older guys that are in this room, I mean, Xavier Atkins, you have to assume will go to the NFL after this year. I think he could I think he actually could stay, but I can't imagine they're expecting him to be here another year. And then, we'll see what happens with Demarcus Riddick. If he develops and plays like he's certainly capable of, the NFL may like him too, especially if he can develop as an edge rusher. But he's probably going to stay. But when you look at the following year, you're going to lose a lot. You'd lose Riddick. You'd lose Elijah Melendez. You'd probably lose Bryce Diaz. And so then the question is, all right, Shadarius Tootle will be time for him to step up, Adam Balagoon Ali. But you'll need that next class to kind of be waiting in the wings. And so Kareem Palmer, they're expecting for him to be a part of that next wave of Auburn linebacker so they don't have to totally reload that room, and you can have guys kind of benefiting from staying in the system. And what do we say about DJ Durkin and these defensive players all the time? If you can play as a true freshman, they're going to put you on the field. And a lot of Palmer's tape is him playing special teams. Like, I think he's going to have a role early on just because I think he's a fundamentally sound linebacker, and that's exciting. And anytime you can take that, and that's a guy who wants to be a part of your program, you absolutely take it. But I do think they're still going to pursue Jeremiah Culpepper, the linebacker from LaGrange, Georgia, as well as Isaac McNeil, the linebacker from Mobile. DJ Durkin is involved in both these recruitments, obviously defensive coordinator and linebacker coach. But Kareem Palmer, as of right now, expected to be part of this 2027 class, which is exciting. So give me all the talented linebackers that you possibly can. This guy not from too far away either, which is great for him and his family, you'd have to assume. Curious to see what happens with the Mississippi schools that have him, that they have been pursuing him with officials lined up to Mississippi State and Ole Miss. Curious to see if they continue to come after him or if they pivot elsewhere. That'll be worth monitoring in the coming weeks. But all in all, we discussed, all right, could we possibly get a commitment from Big Cat? I thought it was going to kind of be unlikely. I thought we'd get one. I think Daryl and I both agreed that, the over-under at a half. Kareem Palmer allows that over to hit. So that's exciting. Kareem Palmer, welcome to Auburn. Once again, 6'2", 215 pounds from Toombs County in Georgia, part of the 2027 class. 3-star. You're seeing a lot of people. I mean, even when there was kind of speculation yesterday that he might commit soon, a lot of discussion like 3-star you, whatever, just roll your eyes at it. If DJ Durkin wants you to play linebacker at Auburn, it's good enough for me. What do you think about Auburn's addition to the 2027 class with Kareem Palmer? Would love to know your thoughts below. Hit me up on Twitter at Zac Blackerby. And I think this is a fun addition. We'll continue to break it down over the coming days, as well as other things happening here on the Plains. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked on Auburn.